Welcome to Political Beatdown. I'm Ben Meiselas, joined by Michael Cohen, who is no longer a protected person under the gag order in the Manhattan criminal case where Donald Trump was convicted on 34 felony counts. Moments ago, Justice Merchan made a ruling lifting the gag order partially as it relates to witnesses and as it relates to the jury. Now, the protective order, as it relates to specific jurors' identities and keeping the jury anonymous from the public, that remains in effect. But Donald Trump is now permitted to comment on the jury, and he's permitted to comment on witnesses like Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels. Justice Merchan said that he was making this order reluctantly, but that now that the trial proceedings are over, he thought that based on New York law, the appellate division and ultimately the Court of Appeals would view that there is a change in circumstances on the integrity of the proceeding justification for the gag order. The proceedings themselves is still taking place because of sentencing on July 11th. But since the trial is over and Trump was convicted, and witnesses are not going to be called in that specific trial, nor is the jury impaneled anymore. They've been discharged from their duties. Justice Merchan felt he had no other decision to make other than this. And, you know, I say what you want, but Justice Merchan has not been making all these orders against Donald Trump. He was actually fairly even in the amount of orders that were pro-Trump or pro-prosecution during the trial, following the law and doing the hard work of a judge. But look, Cohen, you were a protected person. It's obvious Donald Trump is now, he already was violating the gag order. And he would say things like, "Oh, the lawyer, this," but now he's free to use your name. So I want to get your reaction to it since this impacts you.
Yeah, well, my hope is that it impacts all of us, as brigaders. It impacts the country because rest assured, I believe that they wanted this done right now so that he could invoke my name and others' names during the debate coming up. But I issued a statement, and it's not that I'm not concerned about it. It's more to the point, what could you do about it? And so I issued this statement, which is for the past 6 years, Donald and acolytes have been making constant negative statements about me. Donald's failed strategy of discrediting me so that he could avoid accountability didn't work then and won't work now. And that's exactly how I feel. It didn't work before. What's he going to say? Michael Cohen's a liar. He's the greatest liar of all time, blah, 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 right? What is he going to say? This is unfair. It's a witch hunt. It's Merchan is conflicted. He gave $50 to the Biden campaign. His daughter works. We've heard this shit over and over and over and over again to the point we're all exhausted from hearing the same nonsense. In fact, I believe that the more that he tries to invoke my name as well as other witnesses' names, it's going to backfire against him. I really believe it. Now, does that mean that it's not upsetting for myself or for Stormy or for other witnesses? Look, it is what it is. Of course, it is. It's upsetting because there are a lot of crazy MAGA morons that are out there, and they are going to continue to try to promote the Trump agenda. They do things, they dox, they SWAT, they do all of the things that they can in order to appease their Fuhrer. But at the end of the day, imagine this. So now he goes out, whether it's today, tomorrow, Thursday during the debate, and he starts to go off on his general ranting of a lunatic mind. Michael Cohen's the globe. Michael Cohen this. Stormy Daniels that. Judge Merchan this. How does that help him to win the debate? And better than that, how does that help him come July 11th? What ends up happening there? Do you think that it engenders any positive feelings for the defendant by Judge Merchan, somebody who has already held him in contempt of the gag order 10 times? But I do want to say one last thing here, Ben. When I was on the stand, I really want to be clear about this. The number of members of Congress and other business people that came in order to do Donald's bidding, what's the difference if it's Donald Trump saying it or if it was MAGA Mike Johnson or J.D. Vance or, Vivek Ramaswamy or Lauren Boebert or any of these members of Congress, and not including Vivek Ramaswamy. Obviously, he's just a business guy. What's the difference if Donald is saying it or they say it? There is none. It's the same people that they are playing to. And again, whether Donald says it or these members of Congress say it, it creates the same headaches for people like me, for people like Stormy, for other witnesses. That's MAGA for you. And this is one of the reasons why I come out, whether it's on this show, whether it's through Midas Touch Network, whether it's through Mea Culpa or any of the other programs, and we constantly talk about all of the issues that this man is creating in our political system, in our lives, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to get any better. And believe me when I tell you, this is not going to stop, not up until July 11th, not after July 11th.
The fact that the Speaker of the House, MAGA Mike Johnson, of course, a MAGA Republican, and other leaders in the House of Representatives, what's supposed to be a co-equal branch of government, showed up at Donald Trump's trial where he was eventually convicted. Donald Trump dressed them up in outfits so they would wear long red ties like him, or alternatively, Donald Trump allowed them, like Congress member Troy Nehls, to wear ties with Donald Trump's face on them. So Trump literally dressed them up. They showed up at the trial where Donald Trump made hush money payments to a porn star while his wife had just given birth to try to cover it all up and falsified business records. And they came to the trial to help him violate the gag order by attacking the judge's daughter and attacking witnesses like you. So they would set up and do these press conferences in the little outfits that Donald Trump dressed them up in. And that's what they did every day. Every day that you were testifying, every day throughout the trial, he brought in a new crew. And it, again, this shouldn't be a Democrat or Republican thing. This should just be an all-American thing that we look at this and go, what? I mean, as you're sitting there, Michael Cohen, and you're seeing MAGA Mike Johnson seated there and Lauren Boebert and Vivek Ramaswamy and all these people who were there only for a short period of time because they just had to show their face. And then they did the press conferences outside to defame you in the press. Just must have been extra surreal for you.
They get from the Trump camp talking points. It's like a talking point memo. And in it, as many times as you can say in a period of 60 seconds, the word gloat. And make sure that you use what it stands for. Greatest liar of all time. Now, I find that comical because anyone, regardless of who it is, that's sitting in a room or anywhere in proximity to Donald Trump pales in comparison to being a gloat. But that's neither here nor there, right? Then, of course, you had sitting next to him his sloat attorney, the stupidest lawyer of all time, right? Each and every one of them received these talking point memos, and they all stayed on script. It's amazing. They all said the same thing because what Donald Trump believes. And again, this strategy has failed him now for the last 4+ years. It's failed. So why go back to the old playbook? Because that's all they got. That's all they got. Attack, try to denigrate, think that by denigrating somebody, you're going to win the case as you described it, the 34 counts. 12 independent jurors came back unanimous in a whopping 9-hour deliberation. Remember, there were 20 defense witnesses, 20 prosecutorial witnesses and 2 defense, 22 witnesses, 1,000 documents, and the jury came back in 9 hours with unanimity of guilt.
At some point in time, the baseball batter who's braggadocious or attacking the ump, whatever it is, at some point you're going to have to step up to the plate, right, in front of the crowd, and you're going to have to perform, and the crowd is going to see you. Donald Trump's whole strategy is to just make things up and lie, attack the umpires. In this case, the analogy I'm saying, attack the moderators of the debate, say that you're the strongest, say your opponent is the weakest. But why Trump fails with this strategy, why MAGA fails with this strategy, is eventually, after the media is done both sidesing the issue, there are these moments, right? Whether it's the State of the Union, whether it's an important speech that everybody gets to see the full context, whether it is a jury of Donald Trump's peers reaching a verdict, or whether it's a debate where the American people don't hear the media telling us what it is that Donald Trump is saying and filtering out the insanity, but they get to see him there. And Americans, when they've got to see that, have been repulsed by it after 2016. In 2016, you've had some Americans who, whether they just didn't want to vote for Hillary or they said, hey, I want to try something new or disrupt the system or whatever it was, that was 2016, where Donald Trump won by a very small margin, lost the popular vote, but won by a very small margin in certain swing states. But after that, he has lost everything. Part of, you could say it's a brilliant con, or just what morons the MAGA Republicans or the Republican parties to buy into this con has been, is he's convinced them that they need him and that they are nothing without them, such that he's dressing them up. He's making them play dress up, and he makes them go through these humiliation rituals where they would actually have been much stronger if they picked a mainstream Republican, a mainstream conservative candidate, a la John McCain or a Mitt Romney. They would be far more powerful, far stronger. They may control both chambers if that was the case, but they've gone all in on this MAGA madness, and we're seeing it. And we're going to see it, Michael Cohen, at the debate. And here we are, right? We're moments away, we're days away from Thursday's debate. Exactly what you and I said would happen is happening, right? Donald Trump now making every excuse imaginable. It's rigged. President Biden's on drugs. CNN's going to be treating me unfairly. Let me just show you this one from over the weekend. This is Donald Trump on the debates saying that he believes President Biden is going to get drugs injected in his ass, and that's why President Biden's going to do good at the debates. Let's play this, then I want to get your reaction to it. Let's play the clip.
Oh, he didn't. He's sleeping now because they want to get him good and strong. So a little before debate time, he gets a shot in the ass, and they want to strengthen him up. So he comes out. He'll come out. I say he'll come out all jacked up, right? All jacked up.
Cohen.
Yeah, I mean, look. What's there to say? The guy is P.T. Barnum. He's an ass clown who's making a mockery of the entire process. And the saddest thing is, you'll notice, there's a very diverse crowd there in Philadelphia. While I will say that there are a number of minority supporters for Trump in Philadelphia. I can also tell you that if you go on Craigslist, I'm pretty sure that you will find, some $50 bonus if you come and you get on camera, or if you appear, then you get X amount of dollars and so on. This sort of shtick by Trump has been going on for a long time, and I can tell you that while it looks better for him, it does not translate into actual votes. And that's the important thing here. When he starts talking about Biden being jacked up, what is he doing? He's projecting the fact that he knows he doesn't know shit. So it reminds me of that movie. It's like, he knows that you know that he knows that you know that he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, that he has no facts. The fact of the matter is that Trump is kind of like an ADD guy where you can't get him for more than 5-10 minutes max. Well, how are you supposed to teach somebody the minutia so that you don't come off looking like a total schmuck at the debate when you're providing a response that you cannot have prepared for you? There's no prepared responses. All you get is a pen and a piece of paper. You can't get those responses so that you can't read off of them or use them in order to try to refresh your memory. You got to remember it. So what is he already doing? He's already telling people he knows he's going to lose the debate because he doesn't know shit. And that Biden happens to be a guy. Look, does Biden walk slow? Yes. Does he look tired? Yes. Right? Does he sometimes mumble because of his stuttering issue? Yes. So what? He's kicking ass as president of the United States right now. He's kicking ass. What? Our economy is the best in the world. The stock market is at its all-time high. Unemployment is at an all-time low, right? Minority wealth is at an all-time high. Minority unemployment, all-time low. The CHIPS Act, the CARES, the CHIPS Act, you have the Infrastructure Act. The guy is doing what he needs to do. He was just handling the G7. He was around the world trying to help to foster peace in the Middle East. He's doing what he can, and he's doing a great job at it. The problem is that he doesn't, the Democratic Party, and I've said this about Jamie Harrison a million times, they're just not out there with the issues enough, making sure that people know just how successful Joe Biden has been as a president. And then you listen to Von Schitzenpants talk about, how the country is falling apart, immigration is killing us, the drugs that are flowing through. It's sort of like one lie after another. Now, we all know that fentanyl is a problem. We all have heard it and read about it and so on. But he makes it seem that there's now fentanyl being placed in the water by these migrants. And I want to say this. When he realizes that he's losing the crowd, he's very good at reading a crowd, and he needs to say something stupid, and he needs to say something that will be bombastic to get people to come back to start talking about him writing. Ben, did you see what this ass clown said about the migrants? He wants to separate them into two groups. And he wants to contact his friend. I want to contact my friend Dana White, and I want them to fight in a cage match. And he's putting them in a UFC sort of cage match, a fight to the death, and the winner gets an advanced visa to stay in the country. You ever hear of anything so stupid in your whole life, so bombastic, that you think that these people are toys for you to play with, that their lives are expendable, that they mean nothing, that we should now use them? It reminds me of like the movie, what is it, The Running Man, right? Where they put them in, they have to fight against each other. What sort of an asshole says something like this? It's worse than being a racist. It's just being inhuman.
And I think you framing it about why is he telling that specific story now? Yes, he's xenophobic. Yes, he's racist. But you hit the nail on the head here, which I didn't hear anybody else ever talk about. He's desperate, and he knows he's losing the crowd. They're getting smaller. They're not finding his jokes funny. People are leaving. So he needs to say something even crazier. So he goes with this. Here, let's play this clip.
Tough. They're so tough. Dana White. Did anyone ever hear of Dana White? He's a legend, right? UFC, Ultimate Fighter, Ultimate Fighting, and he's a fantastic man. I said, Dana, I have an idea. Why don't you set up a migrant league of fighters and have your regular league of fighters, and then you have the champion of your league. These are the greatest fighters in the world. Fight the champion of the migrants. I think the migrant guy might win. That's how tough they are. He didn't like that idea too much, but actually, it's not the worst idea I've ever had.
I want to talk about that. I want to talk about a little bit more as well on his unhinged speeches. I want to remind everybody, Michael Cohen has started his new YouTube channel at The Michael Cohen Show. Make sure you're subscribed to Michael Cohen's YouTube channel. We're trying to get it at 100,000 subscribers within the first month. We're at like 22, 23,000.
24,011 total subscribers in legitimately 3 days. Actually, 4 days now. Today's the fourth day.
So make sure you subscribe. It's free. Go to at the Michael Cohen Show. You'll get more Michael Cohen content there. Subscribe there for free. Let's take a quick break, and Michael Cohen and I will be right back after this quick one.
And now let's take a quick break to talk about our next partner, Roan. If you're like me, you understand the pains of finding out what to wear. Let's face it, most clothes are uncomfortable or too tight or never actually the size that you really are, and not to mention the annoyance of trying to put together a good outfit. And when you finally do have a good fit, you can only wear it for a few hours before you have an important meeting or dinner, and then you have to change. Everyone wants to dress their best and look good at all times because, frankly, it's a confidence booster. So here's the deal. Men's closets were due for a radical reinvention, and Roan stepped up to the challenge. Roan's commuter collection is the most comfortable, breathable, and flexible set of products known to man. And here's why. Roan helps you get ready for any occasion with the commuter collection, which offers the world's most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, and polos. You never have to worry about what to wear when you have the Roan commuter collection. Roan's comfortable 4-way stretch fabric provides breathability and flexibility that leaves you free to enjoy what life throws your way, from your commute to work to your 18 holes of golf. It's time to feel confident without the hassle. With Roan's wrinkle release technology, wrinkles disappear as you stretch and wear the products. It's that easy. With the Gold Fusion anti-odor technology, you'll be smelling fresh and clean all day long. And on top of that, Roan is 100% machine washable, so you can ditch the dry cleaner altogether. I absolutely love Roan. This has truly become my go-to commuter fit. We're on the move a lot, whether it's jumping from meeting to meeting or catching a flight or an important dinner. The Roan commuter collection has never let me down. The versatility and overall comfort of the collection is undefeated. And even after I wear it all day, I still feel super fresh because of that Gold Fusion anti-odor technology. The commuter collection can get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. So right now, head to roan.com/Cohen, that's Cohen, and use promo code Cohen to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to RHONE.com/Cohen, Cohen, and use code Cohen. It's time to find your corner office. And now, back to the video.
Great seeing Jordy right there. We're back on Political Beatdown. I'm Ben Meiselas, of course, joined by Michael Cohen. So Donald Trump didn't just say that once about starting a migrant fight league. He talked about it in his speech at the Faith and Freedom Caucus, which was supposed to be before a religious group. That's one of Donald Trump's
There's nothing like talking to a religious organization about ultimate fighting. I mean, could you imagine? I mean, it's almost like, it's so absurd. Everything that this guy. Can I also say this to you, Ben? I want to be clear about something. There's a reason why Donald Trump did this. You know, that's the benefit that we have here on Beatdown. I know the guy so well, and I understand him because of my 10 plus years sitting by this guy's side. Why did he invoke the name of Dana White? All right. Because Dana White recently had him at a UFC fight where, for the most part, UFC attendees are also MAGA. They are Trump fans as a general group. Now, if somebody wanted to pull up the video on Trump there were people also booing him, screaming "fuck you, Donald," as he was coming in, and Donald doesn't care about that. He's waving to everybody, blah blah blah. The reason why he invoked Dana White's name, the UFC, and came up with this batshit crazy idea, almost as stupid as injecting bleach into your lungs or ramming some sort of an ultraviolet light up your ass in order to kill COVID. Donald has the greatest ideas. Nobody has better ideas than the Donald. The reason he invokes Dana White's name is because he's playing to the crowd of UFC MAGA people. And Dana White represents that group of people. And so he was playing off the crowd, thinking that these are the same people that are UFC attendees. That's the only reason. It's solidifying his base the same way he says sort of wacky, stupid shit in front of evangelical, groups all the time.
I think it's also too a control mechanism, and in a way, he's giving them the middle finger and making them submit to him. When he goes into their churches and has them curse, like that's one of the things he does frequently at the churches. Like he was at that Charlie Kirk mega church in Phoenix, and he's like, I shouldn't say this, but that is bullshit. And then he has the audience curse over and over again in a place of worship. And they do the chant where they're saying bullshit over and over and over again. And I think it also gives him and his pathology a delight that he has debased and defiled the church and brought them down to that. And I think he gets off on making the church a gross and disgusting place that it shouldn't be. And he's like, aha, look what I've done. Even your kind of submit. And that's a statement he makes. Submission, submit to me. One of those videos he posted with this like QAnon stuff on his social media platform a few months ago, it was called Submission. And it would say the G7 submitted, NATO submitted, India submitted, the prime minister submitted, the prime minister of Canada submitted, the president of France submitted, and they would show the images of them like weirdly manipulated, like they were submitting to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump was like conquering them. It is a very odd pathology, and I try to pull this back in a lot of the hot takes that I do, Michael, and say he's cursing in a church. Now, I don't care if you're religious or not religious. There's separation of church and state, but he goes and holds political events in churches with people wearing MAGA hats who chant his name and curse. So don't pretend to be a religious person if you're okay with that type of behavior going on in the church. Then, of course, in Detroit, he went to a purported black church and filled it with kind of white MAGA folks who were there kind of wearing the hats and chanting his name in a place of worship. It is all very odd. And speaking about very odd, he does this a lot during his speeches. So here he's trying to find the word, but because of all the cognitive issues he has, he can't find the word rebuttal. So he uses the word refuddle, and you see him getting angry, and he spends, rather than just move on, it's okay to misspeak, but like he spends so much time on it that the word is actually refuddle. And you just watch this, because I think we're going to see a lot of moments like this at the debate. And the question that I have for you, and I want to ask you after I play you this clip, is do you think there's a chance if he shows up, he actually walks off in the middle of the debate when he doesn't like the questions? But first, let me play you this clip.
And my stupid people, when I wanted to refute it, they said, sir, don't dignify it with a refuddle. Refutal or a refuddle? What the hell word would that be? Refuddle? What they'll say, he didn't know refuddle or refutal, but they don't know either. Sir, it should not be dignified, sir. I said, well, I got to fight that. That's the worst thing you could probably say to me would be that. He said, sir.
You know, it's really amazing to me because there's also a clip that's out there of Donald Trump talking about the shark, the battery, the boat, the electrocution, the whole bit. And he knows that he made an asshole out of himself. And instead of sort of moving on and getting away from it, no, not for him. That's not how it works. Because the stable genius can do no wrong. He's never made a mistake in his life. He's never had to apologize for anything in his life. He's always 100% accurate. What he was saying then is that this was all a joke. He was entertaining. He was just being funny. And that the far left have been criticizing him every single day, saying he doesn't know what he's talking about. What is he talking about? This, that. And he makes stuff up to try to offset the level of stupidity that he already pronounced. And it just makes him look dumber and stupider than what he actually looks like. And the saddest part is while we all see it, because we're not blind, we're not in the cult, we're not deaf. We see him, we hear him, we acknowledge what he's doing and he's saying. It doesn't make a difference. Not for him and not for these people. They don't care what he says. Did you hear the laughter over the fact he couldn't pronounce a word? And the clapping? I don't care if it's even one person. The fact that somebody is laughing, the fact that somebody is clapping over something as stupid as that really makes you wonder who these people are and why. Why? Why are you laughing at something so ridiculous and something so dumb? And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I cannot figure out this group of MAGA morons. And you all know who I'm talking about. We have a few trolls that are trying to bother us. You know who they are. They're the idiots with the 3 teeth and the 4 brain cells that think it's funny that the president is there, or let me rephrase that, a presidential candidate is on stage, not talking about things that affect your life, but there to entertain you. He's Jerry fucking Seinfeld on stage. He's the guy Maniscalco. He's a comedian on stage there in order to do what? To make you laugh. Is that really what you want for a president? You want somebody to make you laugh? Or you want somebody who's going to do something to help to make America, or, even better, to help to ensure that the next generation is left a country in better shape than when we inherited it? That's kind of like what you want, not this sort of, bombastic, pathetic level of stupidity. At least that's what I would hope everybody would want.
Look, I think the explanation is rooted in a cult pathology and the fact that propaganda does work. The fact that there are tens of billions of dollars pushing these pro-Trump narratives on Fox and OAN and Newsmax and Alex Jones and all of these outlets that just live in an entirely different universe, one that is not fact-based, one that is not evidence-based, and they have really captured tens of millions of Americans. And you can trace this back to the 70s with Roger Ailes' plan to make this happen, with Rush Limbaugh and right-wing radio pushing people into this echo chamber, with the rise of Fox thereafter, and then all of the kind of clones, and then people with agendas who prey on vulnerable people who want answers to complex and complicated questions about life. and it is to scapegoat the other and to hoist up an authoritarian. And this class and this group of people who wants to be the modern day oligarchs are pushing this over and over again because they think in a Trump world they're going to get to pay no taxes and they're going to get to exploit everyone and do whatever it is that they want to do, like Putin's oligarchs. The issue is a lot of Putin's oligarchs have been killed by Putin. You go through authoritarian regimes all the time, and as you predicted, Michael Cohen, you said, look, you want to know what the first thing he's going to do to all of you billionaires who think you're going to get tax cuts? He's going into your bank accounts and he's taking your money.
You don't have to worry about tax cuts because you're going to have no money. He's going to take it all so he can be the first trillionaire in the world. And then that's not going to stop him. He's going to want 2 trillion and so on. But Ben, you asked a great question before and I didn't really answer it. Do I think Trump will walk off the stage? Very similar to what so many of these pundits was saying about me when I was heading to the stand as the key witness in the Manhattan District Attorney case. Oh, Cohen's going to be bombastic. He's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to hold his shit together. He's going to be, just a raging lunatic, and the jury's going to hate him, and all this other stuff. If you listen to what these people are talking about, it's amazing because everybody today, all of these pundits, they're all prognosticators. They have a crystal ball and they know exactly what's going to happen. And all these people are now turning around and saying that Donald Trump is going to come out and he's going to be his typical self. And here's a picture, a video of Trump, standing over Hillary Clinton. Here's some comments that he made at the last debate with Joe Biden, blah, blah, blah. Let me be very clear about something because I know this group better than anybody. They are telling him, you need to defy what you are hearing. You need to be the exact opposite of what you are hearing. You cannot come out and start attacking Joe Biden right off the bat and so on. And Donald's saying, well, if they attack me, no, Donald, listen to me very carefully. He's like, wait, how long have we been at this prep? And they're like 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. Just give me the bullet points, and we'll meet up again tomorrow. I got other things to do. That's what's happening. He has no idea about the facts. There's a great line that if you can't dazzle them with your brilliance, baffle them with your bullshit. That's Trump's motto. He is not going to walk off right off the bat. He won't. He's going to get angry. He's going to say, that's a nasty question. He's going to very much try to hold his composure as long as he possibly can. Now, if I was guiding the Biden administration, if I was guiding the Bidens and Bob Bauer, who I think is absolutely phenomenal, for debate prep, you got to come out and slap Donald right across the diaper. And you got to slap him hard. You just cannot try to be the pleasant, kind, human, compassionate Joe Biden. Bullshit. Gloves off. This is a political beatdown. And that's what Joe Biden needs to do. He needs to give Trump a fucking beatdown like he has never been beaten down before. And I'll tell you, I offered my service. I said, nobody knows how to get under the guy's skin better than me. And so, make up any question, Ben, assuming that I'm President Biden. And I'll tell you exactly how I would come out with a statement. You got to attack. It's not just attacking him, his intelligence, his campaign, his business, the fact that he's a felon, the fact that he sees sharks in water and all that. No. It's also about the delivery. You cannot just come up with a prepared line in your head and say, yeah, that's going to work, right? And you're right, by the way. You got to do it with a smile. right? So, they turn around and, oh, Mr. President, and he turns around and goes, yeah. He goes, how stupid is that, right? I mean, the stable genius over here, it's, I'm sorry, did I call him stable genius? I meant the felonious stable genius. And you got to just go and you got to make fun of him, but you have to do it in a way that gets right under his skin. Because at that point in time, Donald has very thin skin. He'll tell you his skin is thicker than that of an elephant. No, it's not. He knows that people are laughing at him, and that bothers him. Make the people laugh.
Well, Cohen, I want to do that exercise with you. And we come back, I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to treat it as though we're doing the debate, and we'll see how you would answer them if you were President Biden and how you would handle them and turn them against Trump. I'm interested in, I'll take you up on that offer. Let's take our last quick break of the show.
It's hot outside, and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. If you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend that you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA, and they use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so that you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands. And you know what? They feel as nice, if not nicer, than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. Using silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature, again, all night long, no matter the weather, so that you get better sleep every single night. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne. I mean, sleep clean with Miracle. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7%. Get a look, 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. So there's no more gross odors too. Go to trymiracle.com/beat to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code BEAT, B-E-A-T, at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save, get a load of this, an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Now upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. And go to trymiracle.com/beat and use the code BEAT to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40%. Again, that's trymiracle.com/beat to treat yourself. And thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode.
We're back. I want to give a shout out to those pro-democracy sponsors right there. They help fund this show, and they are some great products. Michael Cohen uses them. I use them. Jordy's the one who vets them. And so the discount codes are in the description below. Use those discount codes. You can get great deals on those great products, and it helps the show. All right, Michael Cohen, I said I want to do a little role play right now. I'm going to pretend to be the moderators. You're going to be President Biden. Let's see how you would handle these questions. Mr. President, you often tout the economic accomplishments of your administration, but many Americans are not feeling it. They have to work multiple jobs, and prices at the grocery store is higher, and people are feeling the effects of inflation. How could you tout a great economic record, yet Americans are not necessarily feeling that result?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening. I was thinking of sharks. Right? That's where he's got to sort of start off with. Change the whole tenor of it. Look, I understand that people are right now suffering. We're in the middle of a rough economy. The country as a whole is doing great. Lowest unemployment, right? We have the greatest stock market. Yes, I understand the value of your homes have gone up, but so have the costs of goods and so on. And this is very complicated. Now, my opponent will tell you that the stable genius will tell you, shark, will tell you that he could fix it in 24 hours. He could fix it in a year, is what he actually told people during the last presidential debate in 2020 when I won and he lost despite the big lie. He wasn't able to do anything. Not in a year, not in 4 years. In fact, he raised the debt by $8 trillion, more than every president before him combined. We have work to do. I don't say that the country is perfect. I say we're doing great compared to every other country with 2.5 times anybody else's GDP. But don't for a second be fooled by this con artist that will tell you that he could do anything in 24 hours. Not only can he not do it in 24 hours, he can't do it in 24 years.
Mr. President, there are many who say that at your age, 81 years old, that that's a concern to them. So what do you say to the Americans who are concerned potentially about your age and you serving a full term?
Well, in all fairness, that's not anything that I can do. But I do want to point out that my opponent is only 2.5 years younger, has never worked out a single day in his life, can't ride a bicycle. His biggest exercise is pushing his foot on the accelerator in his sped up golf cart so that he could get to the ball and cheat, right? I'm telling you, I'm in great shape. I feel great. Am I a little slower than I was 20 years ago? Yes. Am I, do I not stand as straight as I was 20 years ago? Yes. But so what? So what? This is a question of who should be in charge of our country for the next 4 years. So it's not a question of, hey, you got alternatives. It's either me or this joke. Which one are you going to go for? It's a very simple answer. And it's not him.
Mr. President, when you ran for office in 2020, you said that you would work to unite the country, but poll after poll shows that the country is more divided than ever right now. And you often refer to the other side as MAGA Republicans or that they want a dictator. Do you think that's the right way to unite our country in this moment?
Whether it's right or it's wrong is irrelevant. It's factual. And I have to live on facts, right? My opponent has created the most toxic country that we've seen since the Civil War, something that he also claims that he could have fixed in 24 hours. And I don't even want to start going there. There's only one way you could have fixed it, and that would have been to call the armies off and allow slavery to exist. But I'm not even going to go there for the point of this question. The point is, this guy has gone ahead and he has created multiple factions within our country, and they are fighting one another. Nevertheless, I have passed more bipartisan bills that benefit all Americans, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, than any other president in history, and far, far many more than my opponent, who accomplished nothing. No bills were passed. The only bill that he almost got passed, his very first bill, and that was a Muslim ban.
So, by the way, while I think the way those questions were phrased would be the types of both sidesism questions that would frustrate me as a viewer, I'm fairly confident that that's the way the questions are going to be framed in the debate. And Michael Cohen, I thought you handled, I really do think you handled it great. And you and I did not discuss that we were going to do,
No.
like, you didn't know, we didn't discuss we were going to
I'm
do
going to
that.
tell you, and I'm going to tell the brigaders something at 5:30, another 9 minutes, because I got to get off at 5:25 today because I'm doing Nicole Wallace on MSNBC. And while I was having a conversation, in terms of setting up the interview, when they called me, and so on, I asked them, what do you want to talk about? Well, clearly they want to talk about the gag order, like what we talked about here. So you guys heard it first. But they also said that they want to talk about the debate. My hope is that they turn around and they ask me, a question. I may even try to push it, to Nicole, where, hey, why don't you act as the moderator and me as Joe Biden? I like the idea. And then, hit them with a 1-2 on MSNBC so that people could understand just how crazy this is. And again, what Biden needs to do, he needs to come out and he needs to slap this guy with a left and then a right and then an uppercut. 1, 2, 3. All right. In that way that Trump gets so angry, and then do it again. And then when he loses his shit, at that point in time, he's going to start attacking the moderators. He's going to start saying these questions are unfair, that, this is, and he's going to shake his head. And, ultimately, I think if Joe Biden says things the right way, with a smile, making fun of Donald, he hates to be made fun of, Donald will walk off and say this was a waste of my time.
2-finger salute.
2-finger salute today has to go to Judge Cannon. A lot of people, really didn't want me to give it to her because she's been the recipient before. But the fact that this case still has not received a decision, a proper decision by her, one that stops the ongoing continuous delay, it's disgraceful. It really is. And I don't even know a nicer way to put it other than fuck you. Just enough. It's really enough. It's corrupt. It's un-American. It's non-judicious. And it doesn't allow somebody who committed a crime to be held accountable for a crime. And that case is extremely easy. So, Judge Cannon, I don't understand you. But either way, fuck you.
We talked about at the beginning of the show how Donald Trump has made these MAGA Republicans into just total puppets, and the Speaker of the House, how weak they are. Just a strange thing in our country to know that Donald Trump stole our nuclear codes,
And
that he stole our nuclear secrets. And his argument the first time around, first was that it was planted. He said it was planted by the FBI. Then he says it was his personal records. He telepathically declassified that. And under his view of the Clinton Socks case, which says nothing what he claims it says, the nuclear records, our war plans, belong to him. And now he's claiming that, in fact, he doesn't know where these classified documents were, and they were buried underneath lots of other paperwork in these boxes. That's why he didn't have the intent. And he's making other frivolous arguments like that, and we're covering that every step of the way here on the Midas Touch Network. I want to remind everybody, subscribe to Michael Cohen's new YouTube channel. We're getting that to 100,000 subscribers. It's already at 24,000 subscribers. The link is below in the descriptions. Make sure you subscribe. It's at The Michael Cohen Show. And Michael Cohen is adding new original content to his YouTube channel. You finally got it, folks. It's what you've been asking for. A Michael Cohen YouTube channel partnered with the Midas Touch Network. Make sure you subscribe to the Mea Culpa podcast, Mea Culpa Blue, wherever audio podcasts are available. Don't subscribe to the red one. That's the old one. Subscribe to Mea Culpa Blue. And if you subscribe to the red one, make sure you switch over to the blue one. That's where the new episodes episodes are here on the Midas Touch Network. Hit subscribe to this YouTube channel, and we will be bringing you a lot more breaking news updates here on Political Beatdown and the Midas Touch Network. Michael Cohen, have a great appearance on MSNBC. Tell them about your new YouTube channel, of course, and all the shows here on the Midas Touch Network. Thank you, Brigaders. We will be announcing soon when we will do our live Zoom meeting on patreon.com/political beatdown. We'll be doing one next week. So if you want to meet Michael Cohen, sign up now. Patreon.com/political beatdown and meet Michael Cohen on an exclusive Zoom chat. See you next time, Brigaders. Shout out to the Midas Mighty.